So what's good, everybody that watches the pod? Shout out to Midday at Midfield, and we're back with another pod. Kind of doing it differently this way. Trying to get results out and pods out faster with hectic schedules and everything like that. But what's good? And this is my week 2 reactions, week 2 pros and cons, and we'll look ahead and see what we got to do to get to week 3 and get the dub in that one. But right now, let's focus on that dub we just took. So if you watch the game and you're Titans fans, you were stressed out. Um, to me, the boys pulled the upset. You can call it what it is. You can say I'm a fake Titan fan. You can say all that. But to me, a real Titan fan keeps it real. And if I'm keeping it real, I really expected this conversation to be between us to be totally different. And I expected your Tennessee Titans to be sitting at 0-2. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to cap. I expected us to be 0-2 after that performance we put out on the Cardinals. But we're not. The boys pulled it out, and now we are 1-1, sitting tied for first in the division. Technically, we're second because the Texans have a division win, but we're not worried about them. And if you've listened to the pod before, that's my plan. It doesn't matter what other teams are doing. It doesn't matter win the division. You're in the playoffs. That's all that matters. But let's talk about this big road win and upset that your Tennessee Titans just pulled off. So let's get the cons out of the way. Let's get the cons out the way because we need to see what is going to happen. We need to see. Let's focus on the negatives first before we focus on the positives. Negatives, to me, the big negative, Taylor Lewan tweaked his knee in pregame warm-ups. But to all the Titan fans that I've seen, y'all gotta slow down. Where is all this hate coming from? Whoa. I went through the comments and y'all talking about finding another left tackle. I don't care. And maybe I'm thinking with my heart over my head. But when we were 2-14 and we got Taylor came in. He showed Tennessee pride. We were done being the doormat of the league when we drafted Taylor Lewan. He came in. He's a big part of the community. But let's not even talk about none of that. Let's keep it strictly on the field. If you want a new left tackle, I just don't agree with you. I'm not going to say you're dumb. I'm not going to say any of that because that's everybody's opinion. But I personally just do not agree with you because Taylor Lewan solidifies the left tackle position. And don't say, well, oh, wait, Derek hit 2,000 without him. We can use that money elsewhere. Where? 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 We drafted a left tackle. You see what happened? It was Isaiah Wilson. So call me scared to go to the draft again. But I just think for offensive linemen, we need to keep it veteran. And, I like what they're doing with Dylan. I personally would have gave him the right tackle starting position, but they're trying to change him to guard. And, there's things going on that we don't know. And, football analysis that we don't know. So maybe Vraves and Robs see something in him that we don't see about switching him to the offensive guard position. But, again, all this hate on Taylor needs to stop. Even Saquon Barkley said it's hard to trust your knee and make those same plays coming off of an ACL injury. And, I mean, it is. I really like what the Browns are doing with Odell. Odell's ready to play. He can play. But they said we're not going to push it. We're going to let him build up that trust with his knee. And I personally think that that's what we should have done with Taylor. So I wouldn't be surprised to really see him miss a couple more games and maybe even be put on the short-term IR for the 3 weeks. I would not be surprised. But let's talk about that IR. Jayon Brown, he's not on IR, but he was not in the game. David Long did a pretty good job. Crookshank, I ain't gonna lie. I learned who Crookshank was based off Madden, you feel me? But he had a decent game. Bradley McDougall kind of got burnt a couple times, but we're not going to harp on that since we won. Armani Hooker has been placed on short-term IR. So, McDougall is your replacement. Matt Farley may see some time. Things like that. That defense could check up. And the defense, other than Taylor Lewan, was, of course, the biggest con because of what Russell Wilson was able to do in the first half. Let's clarify that, in the first half. In this second half, we did it. In the second half, they scored 1 touchdown. we shut them down in the second half. In overtime, we shut them down. So we got pressure on the quarterback. The D line, the Nico Autry, that man is everything Colts fans said he was, okay? The Nico Audrey is great. Bud Dupree is getting a lot of pressure. He ain't got no sacks as a Titan yet, but he's getting pressure. So the defense is clicking. And, I usually don't buy, I'm not going to lie. Like, Kevin Byard's been the captain. I love my boy KB. I got a KB jersey sitting in the closet right now. I love KB, but I usually don't buy it when KB's like, oh, we have a couple communication issues we got to fix. I usually don't buy it. But if you watch the game or one of the log touchdowns, you see that it was a communication issue. And the defense is young and has a lot of new pieces. So maybe it really is just communication this time, and we can expect more. Again, I'm not expecting a top 5 defense, top 10 in the league. Give me top 16, and I think we have a real chance at the Super Bowl. Give me top 16. Like, just don't be in the bottom 10. Give me top half, but top half, maybe even high 20s, and we got a chance. But that offense was clicking. That offense, it was great to see as a Titans fan. The offense was just going off. It was a beautiful performance to watch. Julio most definitely was a touchdown. I don't care what anybody says. That's the toe tap rule. You toe tap for a reason, but the heel was out. So I don't even think the game should have been in overtime. But it doesn't matter. We're not talking about none of that. We won. The refs were bad on both sides. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, they kept taking points away from the Titans. They did, because it was a safety on intentional grounding. They did do that. But, the refs were bad on both sides, because that taunting where we got a first down, I ain't really agree with. I think that's just football. Both guys hype, both guys going for the ball, but that's a strict rule that they're trying to enforce. And I'm a Titan fan, so we're going to take the penalty. Now, if it was us that got the taunting call, of course, I'd be a lot mad. But I think the refs were bad on both sides. But that should have been Julio's first touchdown catch. But hopefully he gets it against the Colts next week. Now let's talk about the man, the myth, the king, the legend, Derrick Henry. If that wasn't putting the team on your back, then I don't know what is. 35 carries, 182 yards, I believe. 3 touchdowns. And he stepped up in the receiving game. 6 catches, 55 yards. Derrick Henry did it all. If that wasn't a leader performance, then I don't know what is. Derrick did it all. To me, he ended the conversation between CMC and Derrick. No, this is Derrick's league. Look at me. Derrick Henry is the best back in the league, guys, and I don't want to hear nothing else about it. We did what we had to do. We showed up, we showed out, and, we did what we had to do. So we went to Seattle. We got to win. That's that. Let's talk about a pro on that defense. Let's uplift them a little bit. The defense, Christian Fulton. I don't know what you're saying, but Christian Fulton is my CB number 1. That boy is locked down. Vrave said he's been having a big camp, and it showed the first 2 games. He shut DK Metcalf down. I don't care what anybody says. Christian Fulton is definitely back number 1 for me. Quarterback number 1 for me. So, the Titans looked good. They didn't look great, but they looked good. They did enough to get the W. Now, let's move on to next week against the Colts. You feel me? Carson Wentz may or may not play, but to me, that doesn't matter. This game is important. I've been saying all week, and I've been saying all year, the division is ours for the taking, and this is where you show it. We need to go up there, hang at least 35 on the Colts, do what we do, and take a dub. The defense, this is the week, especially if Carson Wentz doesn't play. This is a week to what we do, what you have to do. This is a week to where we show out. The defense, get all that communication fixed. Everything needs to be fixed. But I'm not going to say y'all got to play perfect, because the offense is clicking. But it's the Colts. And the Colts ain't got no slouch of a defense. Darius Leonard has been a thorn in our side. He's a great player. He deserves every dime that the Colts paid him. So it's going to be an even matchup. I've always known we're going to win. It's going to be a lot less even now, especially since Carson Wentz is not in the game and is not playing. Well, may not play. We'll keep you updated on that. But I think the Titans should win the Colts. We should win. And I'm going to say we should win pretty easily if Carson doesn't play. But you never want to see injuries, so I hope Carson Wentz. They say he's sprained both ankles, not one, but two. Imagine walking on two sprained ankles. So, we hope that works out for everybody. And we expect a good game. I really would like to see the offensive line stepped up, but they're towards the end. They really stepped up for the Seattle game, so I hope that momentum carries into the game. So I'm not going to say step up. I'm going to say I hope they continue to get better. Again, a great offensive performance, what we expected to have. A.J. Brown is not going to keep dropping balls, so that's another element to this offense. Everybody has a rough couple games. A.J. had a rough game. He was really the only bright spot last week against the Cardinals on that offense, so he's in for it. Have a rough couple games, and that's what you trade for Julio for. If one of your receivers doesn't have it, you look the other way. Julio had 6 receptions and like 128 yards, I believe. So that is something to get excited for. Hopefully next week in front of the home crowd, Julio gets his first Titans touchdown, and we'll see it. But right now, I'm predicting the score to be, I'm going to say 35 to 21. Of course, Titans, we win by 2 touchdowns. I'm going to say it gets a little close at the beginning, and at the end of the day, we kind of pull out and, see the Titans get it done and officially take the division lead. But I'm out. We'll see y'all next week. Midday at midfield, baby.
Today, I just wanted to talk over with Justin, about our performances last week. I guess it was 2 days ago, Sunday versus the Seahawks. And I was just going to go over some big performers, in my opinion. I'm going to first start off with Danico Autry. He had 3 total tackles and 1.5 sacks. Now, I didn't expect, major things out of him, but he's been getting good pressure, getting in the backfield a decent amount of time, so I'm excited to see where he goes this season. Then you got my man Big Jeff, and he wasn't like a statistical guy, but he was getting the pressures. He was just about on every play. He was around it, doing something, but he still had 1 tackle and half a sack, which is not bad at all. I think it's the same as Bud. He didn't have a sack. I don't think he did. But, again, he was around just about every play. And then somebody who y'all really need to watch out for is Kristen Fulton. I think we finally got a young DB that is promising. In the game against the Cardinals, he was matched up against A.J. Green, who in his prime was a great receiver. Allowed 1 catch on 6 targets. For I think it was 4 yards. It might have been 6, but I think it was 4 yards. Still impressive. And then he was matched up about Crybaby DK and only allowed 1 catch. 1 catch on 5 targets for 8 yards. He's what we wanted Adoree to be. And then on the offensive side of the ball, obviously, Derek, 182 yards on 35 carries, 3 touchdowns, all 3 of them touchdowns coming in the second half. All right, and I think it was like 120, 130 coming in the second half. Y'all can't count us out. We got El Tractoro, and y'all just can't catch us out. And then you got him receiving the ball this game, and I wish we would integrate him more into the receiving game, because I was looking over his stats, and it's not that he can't catch, he doesn't get the targets. I think we need to integrate that screenplay more, because I remember back in a Browns game, we did a little, I don't remember if it was a bubble screen or something like that, but it went for 75 yards and a touchdown. And we never used it again. And I'm just like, But then you already know Julio Jones. 6 receptions, 128 yards. It's looking like that chemistry between him and Tannehill is really coming to. And their timing's down. And he got robbed of a touchdown. That was a touchdown. Don't argue about it with me. It was a touchdown. And then honorable mention, somebody I didn't expect to do really good. I expected him to do something, but he was kind of like the same as Danico Autry with me. I didn't expect him to, be good. But, I mean, it's like every time Ryan Tannehill passes the ball, it's to Chester. And I think Chester Rogers is really good. He's promising. I'd like to see Josh Reynolds get more reps, but I think he's still hurt. I'm not sure about that. But, yeah, we're going to have a couple highlights after this. So keep watching.
Let the chopper bang on you like a blood or a cripper. Flipper, so much bread, I'm a gymnast. Made so much money off of dummies, Yeah, gang, yeah, gang, gang. I'm Mr. Body Catcher, Slaughter Gang Soul Snatcher. Ain't no regular F-150, this a fucking rapper. No capper, street nigga, not a rapper. Chopper hit him and he turned into a booty clapper. Smith & Wesson, I'm 4L gang reppin'. We done baptized more niggas than a damn reverend. Kappa Alpha, me and my gang, we do all the steppin'. Who you checkin'? It's FN, shoot east or west end.
And spin on her eyes, we taking this shit to the maximum. Yeah, must be out of your mind, you think we ain't spinning for bro, we spinning for show. Had a switch on me, not a 38 dummy, but we be spinning for ghosts, they put up a show. We spinning the cribs and traps for show, we spinning his shows, and we took L's for show. But in Chicago, they know we winning for show. You do it for what? Better not say that you do it for them niggas be tucked, that nigga was fucked. The moment he ran it, he knew he ain't ducking his ass out of luck. We do it for Vaughn, we don't wait till it that down. We load and we do it tomorrow, we do it on feet. Ask all the ops about it, so who say we shoot at the cars? That roads better be bulletproof, little nigga. You know we gon' shoot at them stars, them little bitches eyes. I told them to fuck and slutter and send her right back to the blog. Block with a switch, two of those when I ride through the city. And we thought a nigga died